When you play the Game of Thrones, you
Subscribe and like.
or you die. There is no middle ground.
All right, hello guys. Welcome back to the Grease Comedy YouTube channel. In today's video, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a response to my video I did last week. I talked about my concerns for Dunk and Egg, and one thing I didn't really address is I didn't really talk about how many actual episodes are going to be in the season. I've seen a lot of people commenting that on that video. It's been a lot of the public discourse in the community, whether you go on social media or whatnot. Is 6 episodes too few to actually tell the story of the first novella? And we're going to answer that question in today's video. That is the main idea. So before I get into my own thoughts, let me know down in the comments right away. Like, what is your general opinion when you hear that Dunk and Egg, for the first season, is only going to be 6 episodes? What do you think about that? Because House of the Dragon started at 10 and went to 8, and you could definitely feel that product declined because of that. Now, I've talked about this at length. That's not the whole reason why House of the Dragon, got worse, but there is a part of it that 2 episodes were chopped down and it wasn't a complete product. So how do you think that maybe impacts Dunk and Egg? But before we get into the video and I get into my thoughts, if you do want to become a member or a Patreon, you do get videos early and you do get an extra video each week. But let's talk about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms and its 6 episodes. So the thing for me that I want to look at is if you think about how long the first novella is, depending on your book, depending on what version you got of the book, it's only about 160 pages at max. If you have the bigger versions, like for instance, I have the bigger versions of like Fire and Blood and Clash of Kings, then it's not going to be even that many pages. It's going to be more something like 80 pages or something like that. This is a story that isn't that big, right? If you think about, for instance, the Fellowship of the Ring, right? The Fellowship of the Ring, the first book is like 300, 400 pages in that realm. And they were able to do it in a 3.5-hour movie, right? So if you think about Dunk and Egg, I'm not sure how long the actual episodes are going to be. I don't think we've gotten confirmation on that yet. But if you even think of, let's say one episode is 45 minutes long, which is even less time than House of the Dragon, you're looking at 270 minutes worth of television, which would add up to being about a little over 4 hours. So that's what I'm saying, right? Is that I don't think we need 10 episodes, 8 episodes to tell the first novella. The first novella is pretty straightforward. I would even say that you could tell the first novella in like 4 episodes, really. I mean, unless you want to add things, right? And that's why I think there are going to be 6 episodes, because I don't think it's just going to be the Dunk and Egg story. I think we're going to get other stuff in there as well, which I actually don't think is a bad thing if they do it correctly, right? If we're getting stuff like, Maekar, and we're getting Baelor, and we're learning more about these Targaryens that are basically not even given much of characterization in like our source material. For instance, Valar Targaryen, one of Baelor's sons, he basically almost has no personality. We don't really have much to go off of the character at all. So it'd be cool if we could like see that dynamic between Baelor and his son, and the whole dichotomy of the Targaryen family, while also keeping the main focus of the show on Dunk and Egg. And so I do think that 6 episodes is a good length. I don't think we need 8 episodes. We definitely don't need 10 episodes. Because I want you guys to think about it. If you're going to do 10 episodes for the first novella, how would you even do that, right? Like, these episodes would have to be extremely short. This story only takes place in the manner of a couple days. I just don't see how you would be able to fit that whole story in there. And so to me, I actually don't think that these 6 episodes is a problem, right? I know a lot of people are worried about them sticking to the source material, and I think that is a legitimate concern. I am there as well. That's why I made that video last week, but 6 episodes tells me they're going to try to stick to the source material and only add things in that make the world more whole, right? Where we get more of the story, not from just Dunk's perspective, but kind of more of like a world perspective almost, where it's like we're able to get inside the head of characters that we otherwise couldn't because in the Night of the Seven Kingdoms book, we're limited to just Dunk's POV, right? And I've kind of said this when I talk about Dunk and Egg, people that haven't read The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which I would definitely recommend. Harry Lloyd does a fantastic job if you want to do the audio book, which I think is fantastic. For you guys that don't know, Harry Lloyd was the person that played Viserys in Game of Thrones. He was fantastic. But the overall story is going to feel kind of like Mandalorian, where it's not about this story about the global politics of, the whole world or whatever. It's going to be about Mando and Grogu. And this story, it's going to be about Dunk and Egg. Now, Egg will be tied to the Targaryens, but it is going to feel a lot like that, right? It's a lot like you have, more of an adult trying to find his way in this world who's struggling through this corrupt world, and having to get from a lower class trying to get to a class where he could provide for himself and others. And then you get to Egg, who's this kid that is very inexperienced in the world, and how does he learn about these things, and he's come from a certain background. So I do think that 6 episodes is not something I'm particularly worried about. I think the things I'm worried about specifically stem from things that they've already shown from House of the Dragon, like connecting Dunk and Egg to House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, and the idea that they already have the tool there, right? They can use they can use Daron, Aegon, or Egg's older brother for that. They could, do these flashbacks and things like that, alluding to Summerhall and what happens there. There's a lot of things that they could do that worry me, but we'll see if they go that route. We don't know enough about the show to speculate on those things yet, and I'm trying to stay pretty positive about the show because I think it should be good, hopefully. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the 6 episodes. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.